February 10, 1992. Indianapolis, Indiana. A courtroom packed with cameras. The whole world watching. The most feared boxer on the planet sits in silence as a jury reads the verdict. Guilty. Mike Tyson, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He was 25 years old. Most people thought that was the end. They were wrong. But to understand what happened next, you have to understand where this story really begins. Brownsville, Brooklyn, 1966. Michael Gerard Tyson was born into one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the entire United States. His father was never in the picture. His mother, Lorna, struggled to keep the family alive. Rats in the walls. No heat in the winter. Hunger that never fully went away. By age 7, Tyson was already being beaten up by older kids on the block. By age 10, he had figured out how to fight back. By age 13, he had been arrested 38 times. 38. He was placed in the Tryon School for Boys, a juvenile detention center in upstate New York. Most kids who went there never found a way out. But inside those walls, a counselor named Bobby Stewart saw something in this angry, broken kid. He taught him how to box. And then, he introduced him to a man who would change everything. Cus D'Amato, a legendary trainer. A man who had already made one world heavyweight champion. Cus took one look at 13-year-old Mike Tyson and said something nobody had ever said to him before. He said, "You are going to be the heavyweight champion of the world." For the first time in his life, someone believed in him. Tyson moved in with Cus D'Amato in his house in Catskill, New York. For the first time, he had a real home, a real bed, a real family. He trained every single day, obsessively, ferociously, like a man trying to outrun his own past. And then, on November 4th, 1985, Mike Tyson turned professional. He was 18 years old. He knocked out his first opponent in one round. Then the next. Then the next. He was destroying professional fighters in under 2 minutes. The boxing world had never seen anything like him. Fast, powerful, terrifying. But then tragedy struck. In November 1985, Cus D'Amato died. The one man who had saved Tyson, the one man he truly trusted, was gone. Tyson was 19 years old, alone again, but he kept fighting for Cus. On November 22, 1986, at just 20 years old, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion of the world. The crowd went insane. By 1987, he held all 3 major heavyweight titles: WBA, WBC, IBF, undisputed, undefeated, unstoppable. He was earning $40 million a fight. He bought a mansion, then another, then another. He bought tigers, actual tigers, as pets. He spent money faster than anyone could count it. And without Cus to guide him, he surrounded himself with people who only wanted a piece of what he had. His marriage fell apart. His management was corrupt. His life outside the ring was becoming more dangerous than anything inside it. And then came February 10, 1992. The conviction. 6 years. He served 3. And here is where most people stop telling the story. Because what happened inside that Indiana Youth Center is the part nobody talks about. Tyson read, every single day, Mao Zedong, Che Guevara, Sun Tzu, Voltaire, Alexander the Great. He educated himself in a way no school had ever managed. He converted to Islam. He found discipline. He found something that looked like peace. He said later, "Prison made me stronger. I had nothing but time, and I used every second." On March 25, 1995, Mike Tyson walked out of prison. He was 28 years old, and he was angry. His first fight back, he knocked out Peter McNeely in 89 seconds. 89 seconds. The world was terrified all over again. By 1996, he had recaptured the WBA heavyweight title. He was back. And then came the fights that made him $300 million. Evander Holyfield twice. Lennox Lewis. A trilogy of fights that generated more money than almost anything in boxing history. His total career earnings, $300 million. But here is the truth about Mike Tyson's money. It disappeared. mansions, cars, jewelry, a $300 a day ice cream habit, an entourage of 200 people. By 2003, he filed for bankruptcy. $300 million. Gone. But even that was not the end of the story, because Mike Tyson refused to be defined by any single chapter. He became an actor, promoter, a podcast host whose show reached #1 on every platform. He launched Tyson Ranch, a cannabis company worth hundreds of millions. He wrote a one-man Broadway show. At 58 years old, he stepped back into the ring against Jake Paul and reminded the world that his name still means something. Today, Mike Tyson is worth $10 million. Not $300 million, but he is something more valuable than a bank balance. He is proof. Proof that a boy from Brownsville with 38 arrests and 6 years in prison can still write his own ending. He once said, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." Mike Tyson has been punched by poverty, by loss, by betrayal, by prison, by bankruptcy, and every single time he got back up. Not perfectly, not cleanly, but he got up, because that is what survivors do. If this story reminded you that no single chapter defines the whole book, that the comeback is always possible, no matter how dark the cell, then you already know what to do.